quite literally, in meme terms, this con fixed me. This con and many things that happened at it fixed me. So beta's back, a little bit more so rejuvenated and with a whole new mindset. So you know what? Let's get into our Megaplex 2024 con recap. Let's start with Thursday. Thursday was like the big travel day for me in the morning, and I woke up to checking my Telegram and checking Twitter. This is the first meme that I saw. Dental receptionist, when you don't know if you'll be free at 2 p.m. in 5 months. They always make this goddamn face. It's gonna, literally, I got a notification on my phone early this morning about, like, I have my dentist appointment happening in, like, 5 days. I'm like, wait, did I book that for this time? Oh, yeah, whatever, you know? And then you know what's gonna happen? They're gonna ask me, like, oh, will you be free in, like, you know, April 22nd at 2 p.m. Like, oh yeah, sure. Yeah, let me make, oh yeah, you know, nothing happening that day. No one's dying that day. Yeah, we good. Yeah, sure, I'll be free. And every time they make this face like, oh, you don't know? What do you mean you don't know? Regardless, this is our Megaplex 2024 con recap, starting with Thursday morning. This was the picture that I took before I got on my flight at like 10 a.m. My flight was at noon. My friend Ryder picked me up and drove me to the airport, which loved that bean to death. Got all ready, took a hoodie with me, and you know, I kind of looked dapper in this. I wasn't a fan of the haircut that I got the day prior, but it looks good. This was part of my like how to find me at Megaplex tweet, which honestly, I look pretty dapper here. But started off my morning with checking Twitter, checking Telegram, loved this meme, so had to throw it into the recap. Got to the airport, got my whole coffee and everything, got on the plane, listened to some music, watched Ratatouille, because Ratatouille's fun. This is me looking at the blinding light of God after opening, you know, the shade in the plane. This is me on the monorail to go and pick up my bags. But after that, my friend Koopa picked me up from the airport, who's like a local. He offered to give me a ride to the con and was like, oh, are you hungry? You want to grab some food before? I'm like, yeah, I'd love to, you know, hang out and vibe with you before we head to the con. So he took me to this neat little cafe diner thing called the White Wolf Cafe. And I don't know if this even qualifies as calling it a diner or a cafe. I don't know what the fuck it is, but the vibe inside was insane. Look at the inside. They had like a whole bar. I love the interior. It looks like kind of like a hip nightclub restaurant kind of thing, but it's not like a nightclub at all. It's like a restaurant. And they serve some fucking amazing burgers. And they had this shot called the Bite of the Wolf, themed around, you know, the White Wolf Cafe. I mean, it was kind of funny going to Florida and then immediately going to this cafe, the White Wolf Cafe. So I'm like, oh, I'm getting a furry convention experience outside of the con. This is great. So we went here, and they had this shot called the Bite of the Wolf, which was, I don't know what the fuck was in it, but at that point, I had zero food inside me. It was like 4 p.m. or so, and I was about to devour this burger, which this was fucking fantastic, by the way. I don't know what it was called, but it was like a bison burger with goat cheese, sauteed peppers, and like crispy fried onions with like some arugula, some slaw on it. Oh my god. This, like, when I had finished, I was sipping this shot, by the way. If I had downed this all in one go, I would have been gone. I would have just disappeared. But, you know, the good thing about the shot, first off, $16. But if you do the shot, they give you a complimentary shot glass with it. So let me actually grab it real quick so I can show you guys. Give me a moment. All right. So when you got the Bite of the Wolf shot, they gave you this little complimentary shot glass along with it. So like on the front of it, you can't really see it, but it says White Wolf Cafe. And on the back, it says, I got bit by the wolf, or I got bit at the wolf. And you know what? I don't have any shot glasses at all. You know what I use for shot glasses in my home? If you've ever been to Costco and seen those little like cups of tiramisu, like those little like ceramic jars, I use those as shot glasses, even though there's no measuring system on it. I just use them as shot glasses. So for a first ever shot glass to have, I'm pretty happy with this one. So it's technically furry themed, not really furry themed, but animal themed. And I'm glad that I got it because, you know, you get a shot that was $16 and then you get the shot glass, which I feel like would have been worth like 10 or $12. So I feel like I got my money's worth to some extent, sort of, even though Koopa paid for the meal, which I'm very appreciative for. Thank you for picking me up from the airport, by the way, and the food. It was fun getting to hang out with you. But the burger was immaculate, by the way. This like hit the spot. as soon as I downed. It was delicious. But after that, we got our food. They drove me to the con where they dropped me off so I could like meet up with friends, drop off my stuff, and then we were gonna go and get some food. And here's what happened as soon as I got in. You might be wondering, what's the context of this? Did Beta shit himself all over the floor? Did he have another, middle school disaster where he shits himself? Not really. So when I went to say hi to Light and Frey and Nova and everyone that were waiting in the con lobby for me, Frey was taking pictures of me from a distance. So here's me walking up to them as they're like at the registration reception desk area. I had walked in through the front doors and I'm making my way towards them, and Frey is just taking all sorts of out of context pictures of my face, and this one being my favorite. Because I could see him holding up his phone. I'm like, oh, I have to pose for this. So I said hi to Light and Frey. I was giving my hugs. I gave a hug to Light, and I went over to Frey. I saw Frey, and I saw his badge, and he had his little, what is it? His jockstrap badge, where, he had his character and a jockstrap. And I thought, oh, wow, wouldn't it be funny if this was a scratch and sniff badge? So out on a whim, I went to go and scratch his badge to see if it would activate anything, which it didn't. I was just, fucking around. And without knowing it, I had karate chopped with my left hand out of the way while I was doing that with the right hand. And it just so happens that Light's fresh cold brew mocha coffee was in his hands, and I knocked it out of his hands all over the floor. 2 minutes into me arriving at Megaplex Hotel. So that is the remnants of it being cleaned up. Yeah, not a great start to the con. I said hi and quite literally backhanded Light 2 minutes later. You literally just bought it too. And then walked over and I knocked it out of his hands and I felt so bad. So I bought him another one and I needed a coffee too. So I bought that. But it's just out of principle. It couldn't have gone, actually it could have gone worse. It could have spilt all over my suitcase, for example, or it could have spilt all over some new designer shoes or something. But that was the start of it. After that, we went over to grab I can't remember what the restaurant was called, but it was this Italian place next to the marketplace, if you know where that is in the Megaplex Hotel, Hyatt Regency and all that. And then Nova stole my phone and took a picture, and I wanted to include that in the recap because I love Nova pics on my phone. They're just like, give me your phone. I'm like, sweet, I get Nova pics with me for the con. And these are some of the pics that they took. But we went and got some Italian food. It was really good. I didn't eat much of it because I had had food beforehand, and my body was adjusting to the humidity there, so I had a raging headache. Quite literally, while we were sitting down eating this food, which this was fucking fantastic, by the way. Fuck this drink. It tasted like Robitussin. It was awful. But it was $30, so I had no choice but to drink it. But as we were getting our food and all that, our friend Kurtza, who was sitting next to me, offered me Tylenol. I took 3 of those fuckers, and it did nothing. It did absolutely nothing for my headache. I felt like shit throughout that entire meal. But I was in good company. I was, vibing with Light. We had the fried calamari, which was delicious, by the way. It smelled very pungently of a fishy smell, but it tasted delicious. It wasn't, chewy in the slightest, which is, how calamari can be, but the food was really good. It wasn't, cheap for me, but it was good. If you want some good food, that Italian place by the right in literally the Megaplex Hotel right next to the marketplace, do recommend that. And then this flatbread, I can't remember if this was this was Wagyu beef flatbread with some tomatoes. It was a margarita flatbread. It was really good. It was pretty yummy. Balsamic vinaigrette, arugula, tomatoes, cheese. It was good. But hey, on the bright side, the flatbread was good, and we got some out of context pictures of my face courtesy of Frey. me really going at it with the calamari. Look, that calamari was fucking delicious. I was happy with it. I couldn't let it go to waste. It was too good. It was too good. But Italian place was really good. We ended up wrapping things up. I went back to my room to unpack and, rest a little bit before going around the con for longer. And we ended up putting up Levi on one of the lights. There's Nova vibing in the back, which, might be the new play for me at cons if I have a room. I'm going to bring some color changing lights for the light bulbs because I think that would absolutely elevate the vibe vibe. And our room was just such a vibe entirely. I loved it. So I'm probably going to start doing that when I go to cons from now on. So I gotta poke Nova about what they use for like these little light bulbs and what they use for the light strip in the back, which looked phenomenal. Great, by the way. But we got acquainted, we got rested. Pretty much the rest of the night, there are no other pictures from Thursday evening. All this is, just miscellaneous stuff, pictures that Frey took of my face, which, we love out of context pictures of my face. But to summarize how the rest of Thursday went, unpacked, rested a little bit, got hydrated, got acquainted with the social life of not being just in VR chat and just streaming to, chat. I went about the con, said hi to a few people. I got stopped a few different times by, familiar faces that I recognized, which I'll talk more on that and how the rest of my Thursday evening went in a bit, along with, just some people that wanted to say hi and get pics. It was really nice. Until eventually, I messaged my friends Cody and Jake Werepanther, who Jake is live right now. Love those two to death. In which I would get to meet them for the first time. I've never met them before, even though I've technically met Cody Yodi at FWA, but I don't really count that for many reasons. But it was getting to meet them for the first time, and truth be told, I was petrified nervous, even though I hit it off very well with them. I loved getting to talk with them all the time on like Telegram and VR chat. I was nervous out of my mind. I was incredibly nervous because I'm just self-conscious in general. But they invited me up to their room to party and hang out with them. It was an awesome time all around. I got to meet them. They gave me big hugs. Jake kept giving me drinks. He was like, Beta, would you like a drink? I'm like, oh yeah, sure. I'll do a little bit of a ting-ting. And so he was giving me like whatever drinks ended up being. Like it ranged from like lemonade with vodka to like 3 shots of vodka and like ginger ale. Like that's how far the range of drinks ended up being. And I just, kept sipping away, talking, chatting with everyone. And then the party like increased. Soon enough, I got to B2 levels and I'm like, Jake, are you sure you want to experience B2 levels of beta? And he's like, your drink's empty. Let me fix that real quick. And then he'd come back with like, the 3 shots of vodka and whatever else. And it was like, God damn it. Okay, so we're experiencing B2. It was to an unhealthy extent of B2. Actually, I don't know if I need these pictures anymore. I can switch to full screen for the time being. So B2 is my inebriated counterpart, if you don't know. Little keywords. I have levels of B2 or levels of beta whenever he's inebriated. Again, drink responsibly, smoke all that responsibly. Beta to B2 is like inebriated or high beta. I'm inspired by one of my fraternity brothers who told me, his name was like Tucker. He was like, hey, Beta, if Tucray ever asks you for wine, don't give him wine. I'm like, who's Tucray? And he's like, you'll find out. And then like a couple of days after, when everyone's like partying, he comes up to me. He's like, hi, I'm Tucray. You should give me some wine. I'm like, So yeah, I was inspired by that. Went about doing that the same way. Beta, B2 is inebriated, high, or drunk beta. I have 2 more levels to it, so far as I know. The 4th one, or the last level, I have not experienced yet, and I'm glad. B3, or B cubed, is crossfaded beta, so high and drunk. B4 is blackout drunk beta, meaning he doesn't remember anything before drinking. I have not reached that level yet, luckily, because I do limit myself, I do pace myself well. Minus this weekend, which, as the party kept going on into the evening, I was obviously drinking a little bit more and more. I was giving more drinks. I was getting to meet plenty of new peeps. I got to see Celio again and Hunter. I got to meet Coda, like that dog Coda, which, let me just say, handsome as fuck, by the way. Don't snitch on me, okay? Don't repeat anything I say here. Everything that's in this stream stays in this stream. Handsome as fuck, by the way. And such a sweetheart, too. Love getting to meet everyone and say hi to everyone. Got to meet Keat Fox, got to say hi to Pixie again, got to see Sue again after years. It was an awesome evening. And it got like into the evening where I was at that level of drunk where when Celio walked in, I don't know why, but it triggered my flight or fight from back when I used to work my part-time job at an indoor trampoline park in high school. So when he walked in, I just walked up to him and I was like, welcome to this indoor trampoline park. Have you been here before? Like, complete, like, that demeanor and all. I'm like, okay, you haven't been here before. Welcome to this indoor trampoline park. We got, like, the dodgeball court to your right. We got the main court to, like, jump around. Which side are you on? Very good, the right side, because you're a small child. Even though he wasn't, Celio. I love poking fun at Celia. Such a sweetheart. But like he's so small, I can just pick him up, and I did. But yeah, I don't know what happened, but I got to that level of inebriated that it caused me to go back to my indoor trampoline park part-time job. And it got to the point too where I realized, okay, I probably should pace myself a little bit. So I swapped out my drink for like a cup of water. And then Jake comes by. He's like, Beta, what are you drinking? I'm like, oh, I'm drinking water. He's like, let me fix that for you. And he comes back with another drink. I'm like, no! After partying and all that, I ended up wrapping it up at like 2 a.m. or so, because I'm like, okay, I need a hard cutoff so I can wake up at a reasonable time to go and reg to the con, since I hadn't regged that day, which apparently on Thursday evening, the registration line was 2 hours long. And after Jake and Cody had told me that, I was like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. We'll go some other time. So I decided tomorrow or Friday afternoon would be the time to do it. So I wanted to get to bed early. But then I ended up, checking Telegram and chatting with some friends. And after realizing what had happened earlier, outside of the party, something happened earlier, which I'll explain now. One of the people that said hi to me while I was down in the con lobby was someone who I used to talk to like nearly a decade ago. Like he used to be in like the commentary community, and he recognized me. He remembered that we used to like chat every so often. And we started shooting the shit, talking about stuff, and he is acquainted with someone who is quite honestly my inspiration and idol for YouTube content creation, for commentary, for doing what I do, for talking about anything, for just, the rant-sona commentary stuff to the point where I am now. He's literally like my idol when it comes to how I got to where I am and what I do. Just getting into what I do as a hobby. And after a bit of talking, I had learned that this idol of mine was inspired and touched by a lot of what I do. With my videos, with being unapologetically myself, with just putting myself out there on the internet, both with like the life jacket thing and just being myself fully. It helped him feel welcome and happy with his hobby, or little side hobby within furry, with who he was, with how he expressed himself. And in the moment, I was like, oh, that's neat, that's cool. And I didn't really think much of it. But after, the party that night, and after my, nerves were calmed, after, getting to meet, Jake and Cody and Coda and everyone, I got back from the party and, went in the shower and started thinking about it. And that's when it all hit me. And I was a crying mess. To have your idol validate what you do and how you put yourself out there, it is such a special feeling. And it is something that I had yet to feel up until that point. And I was such an emotional mess. Like I sent like a long, lengthy voice message to Snowy all about it, to like close friends about it, just to talk to someone, so I'm not like holding in all these like emotions and like this is no one's gonna believe me, but it's like it's a big moment for me, and it means so much to me to hear that, even if it is through like a third party, through someone else. Because God, like I could go on for like hours about what it's been like to be like a content creator, to kind of do my own thing when I've been so used to being like told what to do, up into the point of just like doing this. And to hear that what I did helped someone else who I look up to be happier, that meant a lot. And that broke me that night. And so I went to bed crying happily. And all this, I don't really take this into the furry convention experience that I had from Megaplex, but it was a big moment. And it meant the absolute world to me to hear that. And it was definitely like the validation boost that I needed, and I'm so extremely grateful for that. But pretty much that evening was awesome. It was amazing in every single way. I had a good meal with friends. I partied late into the evening. I didn't know how much I needed that. Even just one fucking day. Not even the full day of a con. Not even when the con had theoretically started. I was so happy. I cannot tell you how happy I was just from day one. All in all, Thursday evening was amazing. And I was really excited for Friday. After I went to bed at about like 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, I was starting to feel a little bit nauseous from all the booze. So I went to bed, and then I woke up at 9. So now we're at the point of going into Friday morning at the con, or I guess in this case, Friday afternoon. So how it worked was my friends woke up at about 9:10 or so in the morning. I was reading the group chat, and then, Nova and Frey were getting up. They're like, hey, we're going to a diner thing for breakfast. Do you want to join us? I'm like, oh, yeah, sure, I can join you guys. I sit up, almost threw up from doing that. And I'm like, okay, nope, going back down. 3 more hours. Still feeling tipsy and groggy and nauseous from the booze the night prior. So I treated myself. I didn't let FOMO, dictate my experience for once at a con. So I got some more rest. I got some good rest. Woke up at like 11:30 in the morning or so and got ready. And yes, I did Jake face that day. I started my day with a nice Jake face. Jake would be proud. But pretty much all this con was Tank Top Con, fun fact. And if you're wondering, this was the view outside our window. The swamp in the distance, the weird impromptu parking lot, and some random pool with the Surf Expo. We didn't really get the pool view. I'm kind of envious of those that did get the view of the pool for the room, but we didn't. And, it's still pretty, though. Still pretty view, all things considered. But I was ready to start my day with a nice, venti nitro cold brew coffee, which that was a steal in my opinion, let me just say. And I'll talk about that in a bit. And a nice sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit breakfast sandwich, which the whole thing ended up being like $15-16. Not cheap in the slightest, but let me tell you, this breakfast sandwich fucking banged. It was so good. I would go back just for this. The biscuit was delicious. It was good. It was good. And this nitro cold brew, here's the thing about it. Nitro cold brew with sweet cream is my go-to Starbucks order, hands down, every single time. Usually you can only get up to a grande. If I could have, I would have gotten a venti every single other time. This time they did serve it in a venti, and it was only $6. Near me, it's usually $6 just for the grande nitro cold brew. I got a full venti size of this for $6. I got a lot more value for my buck. And to be fair, I probably shouldn't have drinking that much because I was caffeine crashing hard after this. So basically, woke up in the morning, messaged Jake. We met up, we got some breakfast, we hung out and chatted as like everyone else was getting up and getting ready. We had Cody who joined us, we had Light and Frey and Nova who joined us. And it was fun, again, to get reacquainted as it was starting my day, sit down and chat, start a day with some coffee. Eventually, we were all like kind of meandering, going to do our own thing. I think some friends wanted to do the pool that day. I wasn't really feeling the pool to start things off. I wanted to register, go to Dealer's Den, see what was going on and about. So after everyone was getting going, I slammed this entire coffee. Horrible fucking decision, by the way. I now know I should never, ever slam a venti cold brew coffee, or just coffee for that matter. Especially after a night of drinking, which was fun. But I had the coffee jitters for the rest of the day. So after we ended up going, I also took a picture of this little gelatis. The little marketplace by the con, as much as it was kind of expensive, it kind of had some banger stuff here. They sold booze, but they also had this little like furry paw themed and like cat themed like gelato pop ice cream. It was kind of neat. It was a neat touch. I liked it, but it was just a cute little thing I wanted to add in. But after exploring, this is me processing the coffee, by the way, I went to register for the con. That was a fraternity nickname for me. And fun little story relating to this. Registration for me took 5 minutes. 5 minutes tops. It would have taken 3 minutes if it weren't for my badge name being Colostomy Bagpipes. Reason why I have that nickname is, it was a fraternity nickname. I don't even know how it came to be. I was just on a retreat. I was led into a room. The lights were turned on. Everyone yelled, Colostomy Bagpipes. And that was my nickname. I don't know how it happened. It's just what it was. It's disgusting. But I added this for my badge name and used this wonderful, inflato icon for the badge, which, gotta say, love that icon to death. When I went to register, the person who took my registration, you could see after they took my ID and my name came up on the computer, their face just went, like, you could see their day was ruined by reading this badge name. And they went, is this badge okay? And then they call someone over for the reg, whoever was in charge of it. He's like, I guess. And then I'm like, well, look, I can change the badge name if it's bad. And they're like, it's not a bad name. It's just objectively disgusting. Like, I genuinely think I ruined their day by having this badge name. And so they went with it. They took it. There we go, colostomy bagpipes. Look, I had no other badge name I could go with. I needed something new. I've gone with all the other ones, all the other iterations of my name. Beta Eta Deloda. I've started with that. Boodles. Boodle Oodle Doodle. Beta Eta Debate Me You Normie. Booty Oody Deludi. I've gone with, like, limited breadsticks for one. I couldn't think of any other one. I needed a new badge name. So I went with my fraternity nickname, okay? I need new nicknames. Help me help you, okay? Yeah, so for the unfortunate soul that had to read that badge name, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I ruined your day. But, hey, you know, you got the icon to compensate for it. You know, he's having a good time. And so was I, as I was heading to registration. Here's a picture of me, sort of caffeine crashing, but not really. And here's a picture of the con space. It was pretty poppin' for like a Friday afternoon, I will say. Honestly, kind of vibed with it. But pretty much for what I did for that day in the afternoon was I went to Dealer's Den up until the point where there was the VFur meet and greet panel meetup thing that I went to with Nova, Frey, JT, Rano, a bunch of other people. I think Rano was hosting it, and so I wanted to show up to it, you know, just to, you know, say hi. I love doing meet and greet stuff, and it was a good time overall. But, you know, went around, went to the marketplace, not the marketplace, went to Dealer's Den, looked around a little bit, saw that Zero Fox shop, Nightsy's little brand was there. Was really tempted to get these sweatpants. They look good. But I decided, you know what? Now's not the time to figure out my fashion statement. I'll figure that out later. So I just kind of took a picture of it, and then I saw a picture of this World Tour shirt. And then it reminded me of that meme that was going around. I can't remember who the, you know, performer is, but there was a whole thing of like, oh, this is going to ruin the tour. What tour? The World Tour! And so I had to take a picture of it just out of principle. But Con Store and Dealer's Den was pretty good. I ended up commissioning a little sketch art piece, which I'll show a preview of later, because a little bit of a secret thing, sort of. But yeah, I ended up getting a tank top in Dealers and a commissioned sketch art piece that would be finished that con. And I'm going to be honest, it looks pretty good. I'm really happy with it. I'll show a preview later. But after that, in Dealers, we went over to the VFur meetup. This was the VFur meetup. I'm just kidding. We were 30 minutes early. I was told that it started at like 3 or 2, but it ended up starting at 2:30 or 3:30, 30 minutes later. So we were 30 minutes early, just vibing about. There's JT, there's Nova. It's like, wow, the VFur meetup. So popular. And so we had to call Rana to make sure we had the time right. But the meetup was cool. Ended up sitting and chilling there for a bit. Ran into Light, got a nice picture with him, his new fursuit. Hadn't seen that before, so I wanted to get a nice pic with the wagon bro, and a nice pic with the wagon bro. I appreciate mine and Light's relationship, okay? It always devolves into some very, very weird, out of context pics. Went back to my room to, I think, take a nap. What happened after that? Oh yeah, I went to I got some pics in the Dealer's Den with my Maverick Protogen plushie, which is available for pre-order right now! ! Plush! Link in the description below if you would like one. It's a pretty cool plush. It looks really cute. Doesn't come with me, unfortunately, sorry to say, but it does have a Protogen tail. It's like shark tail. Look at that. That looks so cool. I love that tail. But yeah, go and get the plushie. It's a cute one. You can get it with or without the life jacket. So yeah, go and get it. Low-key, the quality is really, really good for this, and I really love the design of this, like, little Protogen Maverick before I end up, you know, redesigning the character entirely into something else. But, you know, for the most part, you should totally get one, and you get a life jacket with it that works with the other Corgi Beans Build-A-Fur plushie. So, yeah, but went over to check that out in Dealers. Oh, yeah, and then at the VFur meetup, Frey had to go and pee and gave me his head, so I had to go and, you know, take some pics with it, you know, just, we love Frey. We love Frey. I don't know if Frey's here this stream, but he's really cool. I don't know if you could see it in my eyes, but I am just exhausted at this point. So after we wrapped up the VFur meetup, I ran into Koopa while he was going around in suit. I got a nice cute pic with him. We love Koopa. I love his suit and I love his colors, okay? I like his suit. It's cute. But out of exhaustion, I went back to my room to shower and nap for a bit. And let me tell you, a nice hot shower to rest your feet as they're really, really much in pain, it fixes you in some way. So I took a quick nap, rejuvenated a little bit, got some more coffee when I was able to, you know, handle it, of course. And then I went over to meet up with Jake and Cody, who were going to do an alcohol run to go and get some booze. And so I was going to go with them, go for a nice walk out in the nice, Beautiful Florida weather as everyone's in the pool down there. This is a picture from their like room. I ended up taking a picture of it down below, and like look at the fucking pool was popping, which is a tomorrow thing, by the way. So if you're wondering when Beta goes to the pool, that's tomorrow. But honestly, view was beautiful. I wish I had this room, but lo and behold, I couldn't. And got some out of context pictures of my face. We ended up walking over to the alcohol store to pick up some, you know, drinks and booze and whatnot. And on the way, you could see all these different, like, little shops, little restaurant-y areas. And it was honestly kind of a vibe. And that's what I like about Megaplex. As much as it's kind of its own little area, it's not entirely secluded from everything else. Where, like, yeah, you know, you can Uber into the city and, you know, go and get food, do other things. But you have all these separate areas where you can go and get, like, food, drinks, you know, pick up what you need. And it's kind of nice that it's not, like, an MFF situation where you're, like, in the middle of fucking nowhere. But on the way there, we took some nice pics. I got some good booze. I ended up picking up a case of Trulies and a thing of Tito's because I think, you know, friends wanted some too, and I could give, you know, whatever, get drinks and all that. So on our way back, I got a nice pic of the I don't know what the name of the hotel is because I can't see the sign up there, but got some pics of the hotel and it looked really nice. Went to a pizza party for 2 friends' birthdays, and first time having Pizza Hut. Not gonna lie, it's not bad for, like, I guess the fast food chain of pizzas. It's better than Domino's and Papa John's, I'll tell you that. And that's a low bar to have Papa John's, so I think it's okay. And here's a picture of Frey's plate. He doesn't eat the crust. Kind of disappointed, but, you know, took a picture of that just so I could have a picture of Frey's food, because I don't do that. But after that, oh, this is a bit of a time skip in between. Oh, shit, hold on. This is a time skip where we are now. I entered the back rooms at some point. What happened beforehand? Because we are at the point now where this is B2. This is B2 here. Here's what happened. After the pizza party thing, I went back to my room to decompress for a little bit more, you know, listen to my body, get the rest that I need. After that, I was invited to go and hang out with one of my big fursuit crushes, known as Yukon. Daddy Yukon. Let me tell you, it was a very relaxing and fun time that I had getting to vibe with him, and I think it was Colby is their name. They're genuine sweethearts, but I got to hang out, watch some Bluey for the first time with them. It made me cry. I like Bluey. It's a really cute show. Got to cuddle and just hang out and vibe for a bit, and it was fun. But I ended up making myself a little drink for the go, which included 3 shots of vodka and an entire Truly. It didn't taste good at all, but it got the job done, because after that I met up with Cody Odie and Jake, and then we went to the back rooms to go wherever. I don't know where this was, but I was having a time right now. It was getting late into the evening for like Friday, and it was fun though. But after that, we went around, did the whole like go to the dance sort of thing. What else happened? Oh yeah, this picture. I was fully fledged B2 at this point. I think this is a time skip. In between this point, where the fuck, hold on, where are we? Oh yeah, okay, it was a time skip. So this happened after this picture, give or take, in the con lobby. We went to the dance to go and see how that was going, just to poke our head in there, see what was going on. Ran into Nova and Frey and everyone. Explored around the back rooms. Got to say hi to Twitch. I haven't seen Twitch in forever. I'm having the time of my life. I'm very photogenic. Limp brisket. Okay. Look, I was having a time, okay? I was having a time, okay? That's all that needs to really be said about that. I was having a good time. I was having a very good con evening. I ended up poking my head into the dance. I think Low Prov was playing. I don't know who Low Prov is for the life of me, but it looked like it was a banger. People were having a good time. Got to say hi to Cloud. I love Cloud Husky. He's a sweetheart. I got a pic with him while I was in the dance, and then I left my stain on the con, left a lot of my business cards there, whatever is on, you know, this table right here, and yeah, become Worm, I guess. But after that, we ended up wanting to go back up to Cody and Jake's room because they had a suite and they wanted to party and have more drinks and all that. And I was thinking, sweet, I'll race you there. I'll race you there backwards. So fun fact, 5 seconds after this picture was taken, I ran full force into someone. I don't know who it was. I feel really bad. It was like, here's the thing too. There is a follow-up pic that I didn't include in this recap of me looking behind me. I had COD timing happen to me IRL. COD fucking timing, Call of Duty timing, where when I look and check a corner and I look away, as soon as I look away, someone shows up. That's exactly what happened to me, and I ran backwards into someone. The guy was okay, you know, no one fell over, but I still feel bad. Look, whoever you are, if you see this, if I ran into you super late nights, Friday evening, maybe like 1 a.m., midnight or so at the con, I'm sorry. I'm very genuinely sorry. That was on me. That was my bad. It wasn't this guy, by the way. This was the con staffer that was there, you know, checking badges and all that. And yeah, but I was a little bit of a problem that evening. Not super bad of a problem, but you know. But we had a good evening. We went back to the room. I was getting hungry, and I could really go for some nice comfort food. So we went down. I ordered some Denny's. It was I just had chicken tenders, fries, and onion rings. Oh my god, it was so good. It was so goddamn good. It was so delicious. Oh my god. Oh, and mozzarella sticks are somewhere in there too, by the way. So I got all the fried foods, and it really it hit the spot perfectly for what I needed when when I was super drunk out of my mind. And this is Nova, Coda, and I going down to pick up the food, and I was like, Coda, come on a beta adventure with me. It's not going to be much of a beta adventure, but you can say that you did it. And so he did, and he joined me, and it was nice. It was fun. And so we went back up. We had a few more drinks. I got to vibe out, hang out with friends, have some nice heart-to-hearts with like Jake, Cody, Celio, Sue, all the friends that were up there. And then soon everyone wrapped things up at around like 3 a.m. or so. I wanted to still stay up and go around, expend some energy, so I didn't have, you know, my like bad super sick hangover the next day. So I went around the con and got some pictures of the con space while I was, you know, vibing out. It was like 4 or 5 in the morning, so I took a picture of like the entrance to the con space with the cool looking chandelier and all that. This is like this is the ledge overlooking the con space as you enter into it, and it's a nice space, not gonna lie. There's a lot of room here. I vibed out with a lot of it. I love this space. I love the architecture. That's a thing about me, Stalkers, too, that you mentioned that. I like the architecture. I more so love pointing out the architecture around a con space or a hotel more than anything else. So that's why you're gonna see a lot of pictures of the con space in this recap with, like, you know, me going around, showing the different angles and all that, taking pictures of the empty space, because it's like, you know, I want to showcase that, you know, get an image of what it looks like going around a con. I just got some good pictures going around, you know, go down the elevators or escalators here. Around the corner, it opens up into a long, big hallway where like multiple different panel rooms and whatnot are. I think like Dealer's Den was like right there or so. So, you know what, it's a good area. I vibed with it, and I got some really nice pictures going around. Oh, and there's what it is looking back. There's the Furality Gateway that a lot of people were saying hi at. And overall, like, I love the convention space for this con. It's so roomy. It's very spacious. It's got like a tropical vibe without it being super hot. It's very well ventilated and nice and cool. It's like going around in the con space here in Fursuit wasn't bad at all. It was actually nice and cool. It wasn't, you know, like super cold, but it wasn't hot. And you know, it was just a nice space. I vibe with it. I give it like a 9.5 out of 10 for like an actual con space. That was pretty much my Friday evening at the con. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. So I turned on my TikTok notifications just to see like what would happen, what would come up on my feed. And I got mentioned in a video that someone put together. And I'm thinking, you know what, this has got to be something, you know, like probably, you know, some cutesy fan video, whatnot. You know, I don't know what it's going to be. You know, some people tag me in like, oh, my favorite top 10 fursuiters with some like dubstep music and a picture of my fursuit. And it's like Maverick. And I think like, okay, you know, nothing really of it. But this made me laugh so goddamn hard. I want you to enjoy the full experience of this video like I did. So for context, I was hydrated out of my mind at this moment. You can see it on my face. I am having an absolute time. I thought, you know, oh, it's a, you know, a nice picture. You know, I love getting pictures of the people who want to get a picture with me. Didn't know it would turn into this. When you go to take a selfie with one of your favorite furry creators, but you're nervous and screw up the photo. I love my community. I love you guys. Y'all are awesome. What makes me happy is you guys have a sense of humor just as in touch as I do, and that makes me so happy. You may think you took a bad selfie. This is fantastic. I love this. I love this so much more than like a picture perfect like picture. If it isn't like shaky and jittery looking, you're not taking a selfie the right way. Okay, I love this fucking con. Okay, it has been magical for me every single night, back to back to back, and it's only night 2 of like 4, so we got a long way to go here. Surprisingly, we got another 2 like days. Friday evening of the con, done and over with. Had an amazing evening. I was gonna sleep in for Saturday because I knew Sunday coming up I'd have to get up super early, and I wanted to do things on like Saturday, like go to the pool, put like friends in my fursuit, go around with them during the con, and I wanted, you know, somewhat conserve my energy for Sunday because, you know, I'd be getting up early for Disney. I was going to Hollywood Studios with friends, which is a whole separate thing we'll talk about later. But after the last evening, I woke up at the bright and early time of 11:30 in the morning, getting ready to go and get coffee and hang out with Cody and Jake is pretty much my usual morning routine. So let's, where is it? Okay, there we go. Perfect. So I started off my day doing my hair. I'm going to be honest, it grew on me. I liked my haircut. I liked how it was looking. And I also like a little bit of the roughage here. I don't know. Wait, I had a fucking nose hair sticking out the entire goddamn con. Never mind. It's ruined. It's over. This is going to ruin the tour. I take morning selfies because I think I do a pretty good job at getting myself ready for the day. And, you know, I did. I got my tank top ready. I ended up getting like my swim shorts ready for like the pool after, because I knew after I went to Dealer's Den to check in on the art piece that I got, I was going to go immediately to the pool, bring my fursuit head, hang out with like Light, Nova, Frey, and all them, and have an awesome day at the pool because it was nice and sunny. And fun fact, the day before, I think Friday, the rain was on and off. Like, it was on and off thunderstorms, so they kept closing and opening the pool. So a lot of friends that wanted to do it just couldn't, and it was just, it was, so I wanted to put it off till like Saturday, and Saturday was good. But this is my fit for Saturday morning, or Saturday afternoon, give or take, which I took this picture because, was it just me, or did the hotel room bathrooms that had these little lights on the mirror, did it feel hot when you went over to the mirror or went over to, you know, the sink? Like, it was emanating enough light or heat that it felt warm as you went to the sink, and it felt weird. So I had to take like a few steps back, and this was the face I was making, like, why the fuck is it so hot by the sink? Is that a clock mirror on it as well? It is. It's actually very fancy and cool. Like, they have a little clock on the mirror, they have the little ring light over it. It was really bright, but it was like whenever I went over to it, I like reached my hand over and it would get like noticeably warmer, and I'm like, are these lights really that strong? So like, yeah, it was noticeable for me. I'm like, are these warmer than they should be? So started my day with the fit, then I went to go and say hi to the dog. Look at that dog. He's a nice dog. I like this dog. But when I went down to go and get coffee, Cody surprised me by getting me coffee and a breakfast sandwich, and I was forever grateful for that. We had a nice breakfast together, and then after that, I went to the Dealer's Den to go and check on the art that I commissioned. And it was partial of the way done. Here's a preview of it. This is one of those art pieces for me that I just cannot stop looking at. It is so goddamn cute. I love it so much. And it's one of those where I have to occasionally like go off on another monitor, check it, and be like, ah, that makes me so happy. It's so cutesy. And the whole premise is supposed to be like confident lifeguard beta Aussie Shep. And, you know, he's got like the little visor or like hat here, and he's got like all the floof and the floppy ears. I love it. It makes me gush a little bit. I'm really happy with this drawing, and, you know, for the preview that I got, it was so exciting. It gives me serotonin. Okay, I know I get a lot of art, but very rarely do I get art that gives me, you know, this serotonin boost where I want to keep like looking at it over and over again like this. It makes me happy. Okay, I like this art. After that, checked out the Dealer's Den, went to say hi to a few peeps, and then I was on my way to the pool. So I went to pick up Levi in the room, got my lanyard and badge and all that, and waited in line to go and hit up the pool, which was something that I really loved about this con. A few things that I loved. The con staff and the hotel staff really sent a clear message that they were on top of things, like genuinely on top of things. Like, they sent a message from the get-go, and the image that I always show is like, you know, in like the long hallway con space outside the marketplace, on the lower level there's like a line of like, you know, those water refill stations with like ice in them. There were like at least 10 to 12 individual ice refilling stations just in that line alone. That is what I love to see for any furry convention, especially, you know, in like how FWA was. Like, the only caveat that I had was like, it was hard to find water, like any of those water refill stations, and I sure as hell was not drinking the Georgia tap water or Atlanta tap water. But at Megaplex, it was no problem finding water around. And the one thing that I loved too is they mitigated how many people were allowed in the pool area. Like there was a line to get into the pool, like which was the picture that I took here. And like as much as it was kind of, you know, a nuisance to wait in line to go to the pool because, you know, my friend Light had rented a cabana and I wanted to spend time with them, and you know, I was just going over to an area that was already rented. I still waited in line, and it really wasn't bad. Like it allowed for the pools to not be overcrowded so that there was enough space so people could walk around. But it was a good enough crowd. I liked that. So I waited in line with Vema, had a few people recognize me, say hi, take pics. I had a bit of a rude experience, which I shouldn't really talk about because I don't want to leave a bad precedent where, but I'll just like mention, like someone wanted a picture with me and, you know, instead of asking nicely, like, hey, could you hold up Levi, because I had my fursuit head with me for the shot. They were like, oh, could you hold it up? They were demanding I do it. They're like, hold up Levi. I'm like, what? They're like, Levi, put him in the picture. And it's like, for me personally, tone is everything. I can understand, you know, asking nicely and being like, hey, you know, could you put Levi in the picture for the shot? Yeah, no problem with that. When you're demanding I do something, that's when I get a little pissed off. And that's where I genuinely considered, you know, being like, oh, $10 then, you know, just to kind of be like, oh, if you're going to demand me to pose a certain way, then I should at the very like at least the Disney characters get paid to pose too, you know? I'm just kind of a guy going around trying to enjoy a con to some extent, which, you know, minute little thing. It's not a big problem. It's just like, hey, you know, be conscientious of tone sort of thing. Cause I'm here to do my own thing and have a good time. And I don't mind getting pictures, but when I'm being demanded or when people are rude to me about it, that's when like, okay, niceties aside, no. So that happened, but you know, all in all, it was replaced with someone in two people cosplaying as Sukuna and Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen. So I'm like, yo, I love your cosplay. So I completely forgot about the encounter till now. But we got to the pool. I set my head to the side. There's Nova, me, and Light. Love getting to vibe with them, and we were just vibing in the cabana. I ordered some food. That's not water. Not telling you what it is, but it's not water. I was drinking it though. And then I got some poolside chicken tendies with fries. And here's the thing. I kind of went into it thinking, oh, you know what? I'm just going to get like a little kids meal, you know, version of like some food to snack on. So I'm not, you know, hydrating on an empty stomach. Not going to lie. This chicken tenders and fries fucking slapped. For like poolside food, that was genuinely really good. It was actually really delicious. So, you know, I was thriving, having a good time. And yes, those fries were as seasoned and delicious as you could imagine. They hit the fucking spot. This was delicious. And then one of my friends, Benny, wanted to try on Levi, or I offered to, and he did, and he posed. And it was a cute pic that I took of him. And then I'm getting ready to go and get pics with Light. So you know, here's the thing about me. I feel like I've gotten better with the steady cam selfies that I take when I'm in fursuit. Because remember before, they used to be so blurry? This is the one I took by the pool. And not gonna lie, it looks really good. Like, I've gotten better at taking selfies. After that, the rain was going on and off. So after like one light rain shower for like 2 minutes, I asked Light if he wanted to take some poolside pics with me. And we got a good few ones. You know, we got some pics together. I was feeling a little bit more confident about my body. I know I'm overweight and, you know, I have the belly, but, you know, I wanted to exude some confidence, and I felt really good about how I looked. I loved this pic. This was really fucking nice. It was really nice. Also, I gotta avoid showing the tootsies. I gotta at least charge for that, you know? Avoid showing that for later. But I really liked how these pics were taken. And shout out to Kurtza and Benny for taking these pics for me. Really appreciate the help with that, because these look great. I was really happy to get some poolside pics. Always wanted to get some with Levi, but honestly never really got to, and here I am now getting some, and I'm happy. There's Light poking my nipple in the pool. There's me and Light by the poolside pretending we're mermaids because I was thinking of H2O. And then a little side pic. I loved these. Oh yeah, and then Bomb Voyage showed up. That was funny. People started chanting like, bomb, bomb, bomb. And I'm like, wait, where? And then he was at the top of the parking garage, like on the side of the pool. So it's interesting seeing him. But honestly, like, I loved getting these pics with Light. I'm super happy that he wanted to get pics with me. Light, if you're here, thank you so much. Love getting pics with the wagon bro, even though I'm not really a wagon anymore. And this is the pics that I got of the hotel, the Hyatt Regency, which this is where the new Megaplex location is. And it was really, really good. There's what it looks like of me taking a picture from the opposite end. If you see me trying to take a pic of this on the other side, this is about what it looks like. So that was good. Holding Levi the appropriate way on the way back up to the hotel room. And after I had changed and gotten food, after I had changed and showered, I wanted some food. So I got a Cuban from the market, or a Cubano. And let me tell you, this is again another example that the food at the hotel was really good. I would give this Cuban like a good 7.5 out of 10. It was surprisingly delicious. I didn't think it would be like a genuine good Cubano or Cuban sandwich. It was good. It had all the aspects to it. It filled me up right away. And it was yummy. That's all I could have asked for. But I want to get food inside me after, a long day at the pool, relax a little bit, because after that, I ended up putting my friend Jake Panther in my fursuit, aka Jake Shep. This is the first time anyone besides me has fully worn Levi's fursuit, like the full thing and all. And look at how cute he looks. Oh my god, you can tell he's smaller size than I am because you can see all like the bagginess, but look at how cute he is. Oh my god, it felt so uncanny seeing Levi in fursuit when I'm not in fursuit, and all the reactions were very, very heartwarming and nice, of like, oh hey, it's Beta. Wait, Beta? There are two Betas. There are two of you. Which one's you? So who's in you? It was so nice to see, and Jake was so happy being in fursuit. I cannot tell you like how much I kind of recognized from how good of a time he was having in suit, that I kind of wished he kind of went off and just had as much fun as he had. And I'll talk to you guys about it as we go through it. But we ended up getting him in suit. I showed him the ropes of how to get into a full suit, a digigrade full suit, with like the extra padding and the legs and all. And he fit into it just fine. He had a great time. He was really comfortable, really happy with it. He really got into the spirit of being a dog, like with the whole fit, getting all cutesy. And then Cody ended up dressing up in their friend, I think the guy that starts with the name of a Z, who has an old mixed candy fursuit, ended up wearing the partial suit for that one. So I ended up handling for both of them, taking pictures for them as they went around. And they look super, super gosh darn cute together. Aww. And they look cute. Aww. And yeah, I put him in the little leash and collar and all that because, what was it? Cody wanted to be in that also. Sorry. I'm on stream. But yeah, got some pics of Cody and Jake Shep. We'll refer to him as that from now on. Jake Shep. So got some pics with them. Got some pics of me. Oh my god, I really am a bit chubby, but live it up. But got some pics with Levi. More pics with Levi. They were messing around, doing random shenanigans, and the rest of the evening was pretty much me taking them around while they were in suit, and they seemed to have an awesome time. Especially Jake, who had never full suited before at that point. It literally went like that meme of in Lazy Town of like, have you ever heard the sound of a rubber ball breaking a window? Would you like to? That was like me with Jake. Literally like, have you ever worn a full suit? He's like, no. Would you like to? And that's what I did. I put him in for full suit on Saturday, and he loved it. He had so much goddamn fun. But honestly, the whole experience of getting to see someone wear a fursuit and handle for them that's also you is very uncanny but very interesting, because you can see a lot of small things that they want to do but won't because they're hesitant of like ruining your fursuit or breaking it or like causing a rip. I could see it in Jake as he was going around many times. Like, hold on, there was like, you can see like this pic that I took of him like running off. There's like a little mini video of this of him like kind of like jogging along. I could tell he just wanted to jump around and like be like a free, adorable animal. I could tell. You could see it in like how he was moving around. Like he was really getting into being like a fluffy animal in fursuit. He was really loving it, but he was like hesitant. And I could tell, and Jake told me this later. And for future reference, if any friends do wear my fursuit, you have full permission to go wherever you would like, as long as you are not harming anyone else in fursuit or not like going off where I can't find you or get yourself into a bad situation, sort of thing. You're fine. Like if you want to run off, jump around, do some flips, flop on the ground, as long as you're not flopping into like something wet, then you're fine. You're more than welcome to do that. So Jake ended up going around and he was having an awesome time. I got a nice little selfie with both of them. Cody as Zarko, I think Zarko's their name. And then, Jake Shep and my face. I got some nice, I love this little selfie with Cody. We love Cody. But I got some nice pics of them here and there. I love this little hug that they gave. I don't know why, like a hug while you're balancing on one leg while the other's going off. It's such like a cutesy little thing. I ended up running into Yukon, Daddy Yukon, and I had him, give Levi a noogie. I think that's what it's called. I don't know if I don't know. But yeah, I ended up having Yukon tease Levi, and then I wanted a picture with Daddy Yukon. I like his new suit, okay? It's a Kigurumi Kagetsu. But even as is, I just like Yukon as is because he's a sweetheart. But hey, look, I got some good pics of Levi. Half the reason why I wanted to put Jake in Levi, or put one of my friends in Levi, it was either going to be Jake or it was going to be Cody. And Jake ended up wanting to go in suit more. So put Jake in it. The reason why is because I want to get better at taking fursuit photos and getting better shots of like Levi. So I got this like close-up of him on the ground, this close-up of him, which is really good quality, surprisingly. But the one thing I do have to work on is like some long distance photos. So I'll figure that out. What's going on here? Okay. I like these pics too. Also, I got some pics of them doing like the fusion dance pose. Very, very cute. I love that. And then I did like a pose from the ground up, which... Anyways, yeah, I got a picture of that, and I tried my best. Ended up getting a bit of, like, the glare from the lights, but what can you do? I tried my best, okay? I'm gonna keep doing better next time, but now I know for the future. But got these nice pics, really happy with them. As we were passing by the little dance area, you could see, like, Jake trying to do, like, a little jig, trying to dance. And I'm like, dude, get into it. Like, really? You are welcome to go off. You gotta, like, I should have told him. Like, I've, in the past, put friends like Zillion in my fursuit. In a 5-pound fursuit, and he'll just book it. He'll just run right off. And I'll just, like, chase after him. I'll follow after him. Do what you want. Do what makes you happy. Like, in suit. And I'm telling Jake this, and for friends in the future, have as much fun as you like. Really get into it. Enjoy it. Be cringe and free. And that's what I'll always tell people. So, having a really good time, doing a little dance and all that. I ran into the OSHA violation officers at the con while everyone was waiting in line at the night market. I'm like, okay, I gotta get a picture with these guys. So I'm like, hey, could I throw this shep in the middle of you guys and you guys do your thing? And every time I saw them, it was always a good time. It was always a good time. This is why I'm glad that cosplays at furry convention outside of fursuits are booming more and more. Like the OSHA violation supervisors going around with clipboards, handing out citations and violations, priceless. They were literally like, if you check Twitter during Megaplex and saw videos of these guys, it was so fucking funny. It was so good. Like, this is what made like the cons so unique and so different. And that's why I like seeing them. So I wanted to get a picture with them, with Levi, getting, OSHA violations and all that. So honestly, it was good. It was so fun. Oh my God. After that, what else happened? Does it go on to Sunday? It does go on to Sunday. In the last point, Light ended up ordering some Portillos, and I wanted a little snacky before I went to bed. Because at that point, it was like 10 p.m., 11 p.m. or so. So I took Jake Wereshep back to D's suit in the room, get my suit all sprayed down, because the next day in the evening, I wanted a suit after I got back from Disney. And I wanted to take it easy for the evening. So here's this last pic of Jake as Levi. And after that, I pretty much just went back up to my room to relax. Like, I was at 11 p.m., I wanted to still go around. Like, the FOMO was kicking in. Like, I wanted to spend time with friends, but I could feel myself really growing dead to the world and exhausted. And especially so because I had to be up at 8 a.m. the next morning to go to Disney with Kurtza, Light, and Vema. And I didn't want to be tired for that. I wanted to go into it and have a great time and have enough energy to have another great day Sunday evening. So for the first time ever, I retired from the con for the evening on Saturday evening at like 11 p.m. I took care of, the fursuit, made sure he was all sprayed down, hanging, fan on, and all that. And by the time I had showered and like sat in bed for a little bit, I realized, why do I need to go back out and force myself to be more social if I'm feeling dead to the world? Why would I crack another like Celsius or something just to get another 3 hours and be exhausted? So I ended up relaxing for the evening. Frey and Nova came back to chill in the room. Celio and Hunter came over. We had like a good chill evening, and then I went to bed at like 3 a.m. or so. I got some good rest, which, despite me saying I'll go to bed early, I still just remained horizontal, which is really what I needed to do. Like, I just relax. And that's all I did. And you know what? I was happy with that. So Reminder for cons, I know FOMO might be a good energy source to keep you going, to enjoy a lot of the vibes that are still there. Remember to take care of yourself, take care of your body. If you need to do certain other things, make sure to get the according rest. And that's what I did. I'm glad that I did, because on Sunday morning was my start to a wonderful day that I had with my friends at Hollywood Studios in Disney for the whole goddamn day. And boy, am I glad that I gave myself that time off, because it was an awesome day the next day. And that's why we're shifting gears for a little bit to the thread that I put together on my trip to Disney. This is my trip to Disney. Instead of having it be like a plethora of pics that I took, I just kind of summarized it with some like fine fun points or things that I did during my time in Hollywood Studios, which I haven't been to Hollywood Studios for 5+ years at this point. So I put together a little Twitter thread detailing my experiences and fun times that I had with my friends. And even after that, I still have some other stuff to tell about the con and what happened and the fun stuff that I did. But let's get on with Disney. So woke up bright and early at 8 a.m., used the picture of me drunkenly running backwards 2 nights prior. Awesome. Starts off with me waking up and sending a very heartfelt message to my wonderful friend Light. Good morning, Pookie Bear. And he sent me the gif of Kirby sucking on the guy's hand. And then I go, me after you touch some gum on the side of a lamppost at Hollywood Studios. And he's like, I'm leaving. I'm absolutely leaving. I'm out. Nope. And I'm like, why won't you love me? So started off my day fresh with that. And then after that, we met up in the hotel lobby, Ubered over to, I believe it was the Great Wilderness Lodge for breakfast, in which they gave me a ham and cheese omelet, potatoes. The cheddar biscuit was fucking fire, by the way. And then they gave me a side of butter, and I licked it. I licked it. And then we move on to getting there, with me being here and doing the Wojak pose, pointing at the big, whatever building this is. See, originally it was the Great Movie Ride, but they fucking removed that, and I'm sad about that, because I liked that ride. But did a Wojak pose, and then I yelled audibly, wait, they got rid of the Great Movie Ride? Why? It was so good. And then we started waiting in line for what was the Great Movie Ride, which ended up being Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad, I think, which was their new trackless ride from a few years back. And Kurtz happened to bring one of these little like fursuit fans that people use. You know, those electronic ones, which I am wanting to get my very own one day, but money-wise, probably not a good idea. This actually has a really good breeze. Unfortunately, it doesn't really matter when you are in the humid air of Florida, but outside of this, I could definitely see it having some good purposes with like fursuiting and whatnot. And shout out to Kurtz for having one of these, but we ended up waiting in line for a little under an hour to go on this ride, and it was pretty cool. I think the one thing that I liked about it was this is the first time I've been on one of those like trackless rides. Like you could see like the wheels, like the tread marks on like the wheels of the ride and whatnot. I was trying to figure out how the hell it all worked. That's the good thing about like being an engineer, is you try to break down everything you see around you, especially mechanical engineering. So I was trying to figure out how the hell the ride worked while it was happening. I couldn't figure it out for the life of me. And I wanted to. And now I'm probably going to look up some goddamn video talking about how it works or figuring it out, because it's interesting. I like seeing this stuff. There's so many working parts to rides like this, but it looked fun. And also Goofy called me a good boy, and I turned into a tomato. And I mean, he is the best dad in Disney, period. We ended up going to the Star Tours area to go into the, the Galaxy's Edge. I was taking selfies with the animatronics like C-3PO along the way, and I flashbanged myself. And so I captioned it as such when Light whips out his lightsaber. Then after that ride, which actually was only a 10-minute wait, I'm so used to Star Tours being like a 40+ minute wait easily. It's only 10 minutes, not even. We ended up going to Galaxy's Edge. I didn't know this was an area in Disney. I haven't been to Disney in the time that this has been here. I was geeking the fuck out. I was nerding out so bad. It was so cool seeing this Disney area. It was so... There's some context to this image. This happened after this next pic. So basically what happened was we went to the cantina area, which I'll show pics of in a minute, which, you know, you could get some drinks and all that, get some little snacks. It was like $20 for a margarita, but it's like, it was, you don't go for the drinks, you go for the experience, and the experience was really cool. But we went to the cantina. I had a margarita, margarita. And here's the thing. The only food I had inside me was the breakfast prior, and at that point it was mid to late afternoon. I had been sitting, standing, walking around in the heat of Florida, not really much water inside me, and not much food in my stomach. So when I had that margarita, as little of booze it was in me, it hit me like a truck. And so after that, we went out from the cantina and I saw the X-Wing and I'm like, oh, X-Wing, I can do that too. And so I posed as such and Light took a picture of me. I'm an X-Wing too. But honestly, going around this area, I was so fucking happy because it's such a, like, look, I didn't even know how to pose in front of the Millennium Falcon. I was just so excited that this was here. I loved this. I didn't know this existed at all. I loved it. It was so cool. And then we went around, we went to the cantina area. The inside of it was super fucking cool and lit up like, you know, the I think Mos Eisley Cantina. I don't know if it was based around that or not, but they had like little cocktails and drinks you could get. They had this little robot DJ, which I think was originally from Star Tours. And then they had these little coasters that looked so cool. And here I am quite literally geeking out. Oh my God. After that, we went on the Rise of the Resistance, which was probably my favorite ride / Disney experience out there. Was so fucking cool. We ended up, you know, being force choked and interrogated by Kylo Ren, and I'm thinking like, you know what? I think I can fix him. I can fix him. I think I could have fixed him. And even during the ride, he was like, I will interrogate you to get the information of the secret base out of you. I'm like, oh, honey, you don't have to do any of that. I will tell you anything you want, any single thing you want. But unfortunately, we had to flee and we had to leave, and I was sad. So that happened. After that, we walked around for a little bit before our final reservation at some Italian restaurant around like the Muppet Movie 3D area. And we ended up getting some really good Italian food again. I got the chicken parmesan. So I started with the garlic bread with cheese on it. I had like 1 or 2 mozzarella sticks that Kurtza had ordered, and then the chicken parmesan with cheese on top. Shellfish allergy. Reason why I say this is because I had mentioned about a year ago to Light when we were getting like crab cakes, like, oh, I have a very minute shellfish allergy. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, I get a little bit stuffy, I have a bit of a headache, you know, I have like a sore throat a little bit whenever I have like too much shellfish, even though I'll literally sit down and under the right circumstances devour an entire lobster. Just because I love it, it's good. And Disney takes this seriously, and they're like, all right, who here has the shellfish allergy? As soon as the waiter comes by, I'm like, me? And they're like, oh, here you go, here's the anti-allergen menu. And it literally like narrowed it down very minimally to like no shrimp Alfredo, even though I was gonna get the chicken parm because I wanted really good chicken parm. And so our food came by, and then and Light had ordered the same thing as me, chicken parm. And then the waiter goes, all right, we got chicken parm, shellfish allergy, and a regular chicken parm. And I'm like, sure, I guess I'm the shellfish allergy. It's the same exact dish, the same exact fucking thing. And I'm like, like, what? Sure, I'm the shellfish allergy. Sure, fine. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Shellfish allergy chicken parm. What does that mean? Where does that come from? Man, like, it's the same fucking thing. What's the difference? I get that now of like, oh, you know, there could be some cross-contamination. You know, they use some like fish oils or whatnot for the sauce. They use that in the cooking process. They want to make sure it's very separate. And I know especially recently with the happenings around Disney, like restaurants or whatnot, that's a thing. But like to some extent for me, it's just so comedically dumb. Because I have the most minute shellfish allergy that I inherited from my parents. I just get a headache. I get a sore throat. That's it. It is no different than me being miserable in like the Florida humidity. It did not matter to me. I mean, it was still delicious. Like, but at the end of the day, like what? I was losing my mind over it. I'm like, there's no way this is like a serious. Oh my God. But all in all, the food was great. I loved ending the night on Mama Melrose's. It was really delicious. This is my new favorite emote combo, shrimp farting toilet, which is where I would be soon enough because I had a lot of cheese inside me. Literally, as this was digesting, I could feel it passing right through me. And I'm like sitting there smiling to myself. I'm like, guys, I'm a little gassy. You might want to put me in the back of the group when we're like walking back to the cars to get our Uber. On the bright side, outside of this little thread that we had, I got a few more pictures. The AT-AT Walker said something not stream appropriate for this, Saw the little stormtrooper suits. Surprised more of these aren't at cons or anything. I feel like this is how you absolutely get, like, the business done. You know, if you really want to look like, you know, you could wear one of these at a con with a fursuit head, and I feel like that would do the job for some people. Also, I loved this room in the Rise of the Resistance. That was really cool. I also thought, you know what, I could fix all of them. I could fix these guys. Oh, and I saw a Sheriff County Dare themed car. I thought these were gone forever. Like, you know, the Dare lion that was right outside the park, like right as we were heading to the location for our like Uber pickup. This was right there. I was impressed that this still existed, but regardless, it was funny to see. So I ended up realizing, oh shit, it's like 10 p.m. I want to get back. I still want a fursuit. Jake had offered to handle for me. Cody had offered to take pics for me because I really wanted some nice fursuit pics, and I brought like my life jacket with me this whole time, so I wanted to, you know, fursuit for the evening. And here's the problem with my situation and my predicament. My flight left at 7 in the morning on Monday. It was already Sunday evening. I would have to leave for the airport at 4 in the morning, give or take, if I wanted to make it there comfortably. So I thought, you know what? My sleep schedule is fucked up. Let's pound a Celsius at 10 p.m. So light-handed me a Celsius, crushed the whole goddamn thing, and stayed up all night and fursuited for like 3 hours. And here are the pics that we took. Oh my god, he looks so cute in his little floaty vest. I don't get enough pics of Levi in his life jacket, but I brought it to the con, even though it's not a life jacket, it's just a prop vest thing for Levi. It still looks good. I'm happy with how it looks, and I got some nice pics courtesy of Cody Yodi. We love Cody Yodi to death. He directed me for different poses to do. He wanted me leaning over the railing. This one looked good. This one on the side looked really good. Like, I don't usually think my own fursuit is that hot, but like, just saying. Took some more photos. Saw some guy in a priest outfit with a spray bottle of holy water. Wanted to get a pic with him and did like a little, en el nombre del Padre, del Hijo, del Espíritu Santo. And I did that while I posed for a pic with him, which is kind of funny. I think this is less of a priest robe and more of a cosplay from Blue Exorcist, but that could just be me. I could, you know, not know fully. But this was a nice pic to take. And then Fway showed up in fursuit. I got a pic with Fway. I love Fway. I haven't gotten any pics with him before. So he showed up in fursuit after coming back from KBBQ. Got some pics with him. Got another pic here. It looks really, really nice. I like how I'm posing in fursuit. Like, I'm getting better at it. And then Coda kicked me to the floor. Not actually, he just kind of pushed me while I was like squatting over, and I asked him to do it. And then I accidentally posed like, paint me one of your French girls. And yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I like that pose. Nah, I'm happy with that. And then I ran into Koopa, who I got a nice, cute little pic with. We love Koopa. And then I went to the Headless Lounge because it was really hot. And this was me about to de-suit, so I was just kind of wearing the life jacket over me, not fully like zipped up, buckled up and all that. I just wore it as is. So I left it open, and then I left for some opportunity for some, I guess, suggestive saucy photos. And you know what? Cody did an excellent job with this because, God, that looks good. But after that, I went back to the room. It was like 2 a.m., so I started packing, showering, getting my stuff together, said my goodbyes, and then I went to the airport. And then I flew from 7 a.m. to like 10 a.m., got home at like noon, passed out for like 2 hours, tried to survive for 8 more to at least fall asleep at 10 with some like melatonin. And that was my Megaplex experience, in which pretty much I had to hold back tears on the way to the airport, on the airplane, from all the fun times that I had with friends. And also, here are the final numbers for those curious. Megaplex, I thought the attendance was going to be somewhere around 13K because it felt like a pretty big con. It was 7,200, with around 912 in the fursuit parade, charity 81K. It was a really good con. It was so good. And it felt like a super big con, but 7,200, I wouldn't have guessed it. Because here's the thing, my badge number was like in the 11,000s or so, so I was thinking, oh, give or take 13,000 attendees. You know, I used that as an estimate for like where, you know, the attendance is, but it was nowhere close. It was a lot smaller. So that means next year is going to be pretty big. But that was pretty much my Megaplex 2024 con experience. And that, for me, was the best furry convention I have been to in years. And I quite literally mean every single night for, like, the past 5 or so nights, even at the con and after the con, I've, like, cried so happy. Just with all the love and support and validation and friends that I got to meet, it was awesome. It was awesome in every single way, and I didn't even realize how much I needed this con. And genuinely, I mean it. Like, if you have not tried Megaplex and want a new con experience, I highly recommend it. There's so much to do outside of just the con thing of panels. There's like the hotel pool. There's Disney like 20 minutes away, give or take. There's plenty of other things to do around in like Orlando, which I didn't even know there was all this stuff to do. And like it was just so magical. Like even, you know, outside of the whole Disney, you know, oh, it's magical thing. It was genuinely magical. And I didn't realize how much I needed this con and needed this like break away, not just from what I'm doing, but a break away from, you know, just friends on the internet, meeting people IRL, spending time with, you know, friends and meeting them from what I've known for months now. Like getting to meet Jake and Cody and Coda and all these other wonderful people. Like it genuinely touched my heart, and I felt so loved and so cared about, like, by the end of it. And, you know, I was worried that, like, even going into Megaplex, that I was setting these high expectations for myself with, like, oh, well, you know, I'd hang out with Jake and Cody, but I also was worrying, like, oh, what if they don't really want to spend time with me? What if I'm just kind of the weird one in the group? Because I always worry about leaving bad first impressions or being that guy or not being welcome. But then, like, you know, when I met them and spent time with them, they were always like, yeah, you know, meet up with us here, come by here if you want to vibe. And then they said at one point, Cody said that I have like following privileges for like following along with them wherever they might go. And that, believe it or not, that meant the world to me, because I am someone that loves directly being told when they're welcome and when they're unwelcome. And I hate guessing. Guessing, like, throws me over the edge mentally. It drives me insane. And being told that, like, meant so goddamn much to me. It was such a good con. And, like, I'm just really happy that I went. I'm not even, like, I have a little bit of PCD of, like, oh, you know, like, I miss my friends. I miss hanging out with Cody and Jake, like, IRL. I loved spending time with them. But it's also, like, for me, it's less of PCD and more of, like, I feel like I got closure and contentment with the people that I got to meet, with, you know, solidifying friends and solidifying good experiences and realizing, you know, good change is finally happening. And that's just the big thing that I mentioned at the beginning of the stream. I've been waiting for fucking years for some good change. Like I've been trying to like embrace change in every way, shape, and form. Good change, bad change, and there hasn't really been good change for me recently. I've been trying to find it. Like, when the fuck is that gonna happen? You know, like, it's just been one really shitty thing after another for this year. And I, again, not gonna go into detail about it, but it sucked. It sucked a lot, and I've had to really, like, in some ways grow up and, you know, really just do the thing that makes me anxious, but just do it. Just full send it and see where it goes, and not be afraid of failure. Not be afraid that it's not going to work out. Shoot your shot. And I did that, and in pretty much every moment this con, it has been so fulfilling and so rewarding, and it has given me the closure and love that I've really yearned for a long while. So, in totality, my Megaplex experience in a nutshell. And I'm glad that I got to talk about it. I'm glad that you guys were here for it, because I had an awesome time. I had so much goddamn fun just recapping this, and I will forever remember Megaplex, and I'll absolutely be trying to go next year, because I had such a goddamn good time. Oh my god.